Folks, my name's Whaley. I'm one of the co-founders here at Teal. Joining me today again, as usual, is my partner in crime, Reid Johnston. How are you today, Reid?
Doing well. How are you?
Well, I'm doing good, but it's fall here in Northern Virginia, so I am getting crushed by allergies. You can probably see my bloodshot eyes, and also I have a cough drop in because I'll cough without it. So give me some room to breathe on that one. Also, we're pre-recording this one. Why are we pre-recording it?
We are down in Orlando for IT Nation and peer group meetings and all sorts of fun stuff.
Yeah, so we're doing IT Nation in Orlando peer group meetings, followed by IT Nation Connect, which is awesome, and then we follow that with our EOS annual pulse, where we plan our year for 2026.
That's right.
With that said, next time we will do questions from the audience, but this time we can't. But we did promise last time, just to jump us right in here, Reid. We promised to show the life-changing unsubscribe rule or filter in Outlook.
Yeah.
We showed this, I don't know, months ago, a few ago, right?
Yeah, it was a few months ago, but it's something I use every day and it saves me a ton of time.
Changed
So,
my life, and been getting a lot of great feedback. So we promised to redo it. So
yep,
walk us through the unsubscribe rule.
for sure. I'm going to share my screen. Do that first. There we go. So here I'm in Outlook. You can see that. And what I want to do is create a message rule for messages that come in that have that unsubscribe link at the bottom of the screen. The unsubscribe is a dead giveaway that it's a newsletter or a marketing email or something that maybe I'm not maybe I want to look at later and I don't want it to clutter up my inbox. So to get into your rules in Outlook on the web here, I'll go up to the gear in the upper right hand corner, and then I'll click on rules. Now I have a bunch of rules in here and I've got that unsubscribe one, but I'm going to take you through how to create the rule first. So up in the upper right corner, you click new rule. You can give it a name, fancy, unsubscribe, and I tell Outlook what I want to have happen. So I want to look for a keyword in the message body. I want to look for a message that has the word unsubscribe, or potentially a variation of that. It could say, unfollow, unsubscribe, whatever you want. I use unsubscribe. And then when it sees that content in the message, I want to move it to another folder. And I've created a folder in my inbox called unsubscribe. So that's the rule. Simple. Click on that. And then when you turn this on the first time, you can run the rule now, which will go through your inbox and find all of those messages that already say unsubscribe and move them. And then you'd hit save. So I'm not going to do
Reid, quick
that right
question for you.
now.
Quick
Yeah.
question for you. What is the not directly related to this unsubscribe rule, but what is the stop processing more rules now? Like why would you do that?
So rules run kind of in a top-down order. So if I go back to this rules list, I'm going to discard this. You can see I've got all these different rules, and you might have, if it meets certain criteria, do one thing, but if it meets another criteria, do another thing. If it meets another criteria, do another thing. So I usually have it stop my rule because I don't have multiple rules run on one message. But here's the unsubscribe rule that I have created before. So if the message body includes unsubscribe, I also created a filter so it doesn't go back to the beginning of time, because that would take forever in my inbox because I have hundreds of thousands of messages in there. I started this back in June. This was when we did the tips and tricks to turn this on. Move it to the folder. And then I added some exceptions here because my team members might forward a message to me that they think is great, like a newsletter. And I don't want that immediately to go to my unsubscribe folder. I want that right in my inbox. So I added these exceptions where if the subject has re for reply or FW for forward, it leaves those messages in my inbox. So that's cool. So I'm going to just close this and let's see. If I go into my Outlook here, I have 6,000 messages in my unsubscribe folder. Even this morning, a few from 7 a.m., a couple from 9 a.m., 6 a.m., 5 a.m. A message comes in every half hour that has that unsubscribe in it. And it's keeping my inbox really, really clean. I still have 65,000 messages in my inbox, but it's saving me a few here. So this is the best rule I have in my Outlook.
That is by far the best rule I have in my Outlook as well. It helps you stay in the zone when you're working on something, that you don't see these uh, I'll call them
Pings coming up.
spam, but they're not all spam, and that's the point I want to make next is the the exception you put RE and FW. That actually got me once because you forwarded me something, remember, and it was in my unsubscribe, so I didn't see it till later. Now, what I do personally is I have my unsubscribe, which right now is at 35 because over the I came in this morning and over the weekend I cleared out the weekend. So what I do is I actually go through at the end of the day. I just go through. There's probably like 150, and I just do it a quick scroll. And I actually found two that I wanted to look at from over the weekend. One was actually related to IT Nation, but it had
Mhm.
the word unsubscribe, so I just pulled them out of there. But it really helps stay in the zone, stay focused. So thanks for sharing that one. Let's stay in Outlook, unless you had something else to say on that.
A few times I've forgotten to check that folder. So out of sight, out of mind. Don't forget to check your unsubscribe folder before a week goes by or 2 weeks goes by and you realize there's stuff in there that you actually wanted to see.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I might find maybe out of, let's say, over the course of a week, there's probably 600 to 800 emails go into that. And I
Yeah.
might find one or two over the course of the week that I wanted to look at.
Yep.
Example, today I got invited to the Cyber AB monthly call, and that went in there. If I had deleted it by accident, it wouldn't have mattered. I know it was coming up the last Tuesday, I think, of the month. So, but over 600 to 800 emails, maybe one or two or something I want to see. So it's very helpful. But let's
Yeah.
move on because we do want to keep this under 20 minutes as we always promise. There's a new calendar
Sure.
view, and we just wanted to show that real quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
For good or bad, let's show the new calendar view.
For sure. So if I go into my calendar, I've got a lot of stuff here in my calendar. I'm going to open up a new event. Now, this is getting a lot of complaint from people because the layout has changed. So I'm in a new calendar event. Like I want to create a meeting. We'll just say one-on-one Reid Gar. And I'm going to invite Gar to the meeting. Now, if you remember from before, there was kind of an intuitive calendar look right below here. You could kind of see, well, now that's hidden behind this open scheduler off to the right. If you click that scheduler, now this is going to like immediately I'm kind of overwhelmed with all the stuff that I see here. But it's got my calendar on one row, it has GAR's on the next row, and today's Monday. So it's showing me time suggestions. Now I kind of like this part. It's showing me in bright blue time suggestions where we are both available. Um, Bright blue being the one that's actually selected. So if I click this other one, it's going to flip that. But this will help me see when we're both available over the next few days, where we could join a meeting together. But a lot of people are, I'm seeing on social media a lot of frustration about this new layout because it's hidden. It's another click. So we go
I
back in.
share that
Yeah.
frustration. I think it's another click too, but uh, it's something that's easily adaptable. We just wanted to show it because it is new. Um,
Yeah. I tend to use on the right-hand side, I'm glad they left this here, the calendar view that's going to show an overlay of when the meeting is scheduled. So if it's green, everybody's available. You can see there's only two of us here in this invite. So there's a little green check mark next to each one. If I drag this down, um, Now it's red. We're both not available. I could drag it a little farther, shows I'm available, but Gar's not. So I like to use this personally to help me quickly see. But if you're booking a meeting with a lot of people, this is pretty difficult. So I use that scheduler. So yeah.
And also, as we said on the last one, we tend to use the Teams calendar now.
Yeah, I like the Teams calendar because again, you're going to see more options related to Teams right in that new invitation or new calendar item window. So we don't see some of that yet. And Microsoft is making updates and maybe we'll see more. We can turn on a Teams meeting and intuitively I'd want to see more options here, but I don't yet. I can click on, whether it's in person or I can do some different things here, but not nearly as much as in Teams itself.
That's an interesting one I was going to ask, but you just showed. So just show it again. It used to be very easy to find in-person meeting. Now you have to click that drop down.
Yep. Yep, say in person, and that just helps. It puts in person in the title. It just makes it easier for people to understand that you want to meet in person, even if there's a meeting link in it. Maybe it's in person in a conference room. So I can say Minneapolis conference room. But I'd still want to have an in-person meeting. So yeah.
All right, so we wanted to show real quick the last Outlook thing before we get to three Teams things is templates.
Yeah.
This is something we used to back in the day using Gmail or Google a lot, but it's also available in Office 365. So let's show how to, if you reply, or why don't you tell us what the business reason for this is?
Sure. So I've got a new message, and templates are useful if you send a lot of the same content over and over and over again. Maybe it's your office address, maybe it's instructions for getting to your office if it's a little bit bizarre, once you get to your building. Maybe it's as simple as a meeting, like a meeting link or something like that. So, for example, I'll just put in our office address, 2300 Kennedy Street, Northeast. Okay, so if I don't want to type this all the time, I can save this to a template. And I might want to have a longer message that I turn into a template, but I can take this and it's hidden. It used to be available right in the toolbar, but now it's hidden. And we were looking around for this the other day, but it's under apps. So if you click apps, one of the options here is my templates. So I click on that and see there are some out of the box, I'll reply later, I'm running late, do you want to do lunch? But you can add a new template if you want. So I can take my text here and I could format it. I could say, maybe I want this to be bold, maybe I want this to be underlined. I can take this text and I'll copy it to the clipboard. So copy, and then I can create a new template and give it a name. So our address. And then I can right click with my mouse and paste. And it's going to paste that information right into the message or right into the template with the formatting that I've put in there. And then I'll hit save. So now we can pretend I'm got a new message. I'm sending an invite to for a meeting in our office. So I'm writing my message, and then I can go up here to apps, go into my templates, and now there's our address. So now I can click it and it's going to add that right to my email. So that's useful again with your address, maybe some instructions, maybe it's like a sales template that you're using often. There's a variety of different use cases for it. The reason why I started with the content in my message is so that you can format the content the way you want it. Maybe I want something highlighted, maybe I want something underlined. You'll notice that in this box, there's no buttons to make anything bold or underlined or anything. So you've got to format your content first and then copy it and then paste it. So that's templates.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I always used to use this was for billing address.
Yeah.
When people would say, where do we send our check? Back in the old days, I just had a template.
Yeah.
for billing address.
And there are a lot of ways to do this. I use like a text expander, which is using a keyboard shortcut. This is a tip for another day, but a keyboard shortcut to type in whatever you want anywhere you want. So that's really useful. We'll cover that another day.
That's actually not like that's actually not a Microsoft 365 thing, right?
Right. No, that's not. Yeah, that's just a third-party app that does some typing for me.
Yeah, let's jump into Teams. We got a couple things, a few things we wanted to go over in Teams. Some of them are real quick, but notoriously, we're in Zoom recording this call, and we're going to try to show some things in Teams. So it could get a little bit finicky, but let's start with mic level.
Yeah. So
How
this,
this is going to work, I don't know, Reid, but let's see.
it'll work. It's already working here. So this is awesome. This is a really nice usability thing. How often do you go into Teams and can you hear me? Can you hear me? The other people can't hear you. And then you're trying to figure out, is it your mic? Is it the wrong mic? Is it your speakers? Is it their speakers? Who knows? So you can
You can
see
actually
in the
see it
upper,
as you talk.
yeah, as I talk, because I've got a couple of mics here. So we figured that out from before. As you're talking, you'll see the mic level will change in the button, which is really nice. So I know that Teams is picking up my audio, where if this was, I can probably change my input here, my microphone maybe to a headset that doesn't exist. Can you still hear me, Gar?
I can still hear you.
Okay, good, but Teams can't. The mic I selected, now there's no audio input. So this is really helpful. I'm going to flip it back to that
When
it
you
was
can't
my left.
hear, it's solid, and when Teams can hear you, it starts to show that it's changes.
Yep. So that's one way to see it. The other way to see it is when you click that little down arrow, you can see the mic level of the input into Teams. Now, this is just showing any audio coming into Teams, not necessarily which mic is selected, because see, my webcam mic is way at the top here, but the audio level's at the bottom. So this is just another way to see what's up here in the little icon. So really, really nice feature. I'm glad it's there.
So, like when you get on a call with Jill and Jill's blaming you and saying, Reid, you're muted, you know you're not because you're looking at either of those two ways. And then she
Yep.
realizes that her speakers are turned off.
Yep, exactly. Now I wish they had the same for speakers, right? They don't have that here. They just have an output level. Maybe that's coming. Who knows? But yeah, the mic input is great.
So, Reid, we're coming up on time. We have two more group chat, schedule a meeting from group chat and leaving by accident.
Oh
Not sure
yeah.
which one we should do first.
Let's try the leaving by accident. So how many times have you been sharing your screen and you hit the leave button thinking that you're done sharing you all you want to do is stop sharing your screen. You don't want to leave the meeting, but we're all frazzled when we're live, right? So I'm going to try sharing my screen here. I'm going to share this window. We'll do this one here. Okay, so now I'm going to open my Teams back up again. Can you see my Teams window again?
Yes.
Okay, so now I really want to just stop sharing, but I mistakenly click leave. And now there's a nice pop-up that says, hey, you're sharing. Is that really what you want to do? Do you want to leave the meeting or do you just want to stop sharing? So I typically try to click the thing at the right to stop. And now they've got this nice little, oh, I want to stay. Instead, I'm just going to stop sharing. So that's kind of a nice usability feature that they've added.
It's very nice. That never happens to me. I always just hit the
No,
stop sharing button. But Jill, all the time, she hits leave instead of stop sharing, and then we have to wait for her to come back in the meeting.
right.
All right, so let's get to the last one then, which is also pretty neat. Scheduling scheduling a meeting from a group chat.
Yeah. So I'm going to, let's see here. I'm going to grab I can do this one. This will be a good example. I'm going to open in a new window, and I'll bring it over to our screen here. Okay, so here's a meeting. This, and I covered up some of the stuff because we've got, but it's a good example. We have a group chat. It has a few people in this group chat. It has Don and Gar and Jill and Reid. Now we're typing away, and if I want to book a meeting with everybody in this group chat, it's as simple as going to the more chat options in the upper right corner and then schedule a meeting. When I click that, it's going to open up a window, and I've got to bring it over from my other screen. It's going to open up a window, and it has already added Jill and Don and Gar to my meeting. It hasn't created an agenda or anything, so it's not context aware of the chat. But the handy part is I'm in a chat. I want to meet with the people in those chat or in that chat. I click one button and it adds them to an invite for me, rather than going into a blank invite and typing in everyone's name. So this is a little time saver. This is something that we have a lot of group chats. That's a conversation for a different day. Why have a group chat versus a team? We end up having a lot of group chats, and a lot of times we want to meet with people in this group chat to have a voice conversation or have an in-person conversation. And when you're in that chat window, it's up at the top. You're just going to click schedule a meeting. So
The
pretty handy.
business case for me for this, since I'm older, is, as you know, when we're in a group chat and we're typing and you guys are typing 10 times as fast as me, and I'm like, okay, we can't DM about this. We're going to have to get on a call. So we
Yeah.
say, yeah, let's just meet about this. Just right click the three buttons, schedule a meeting. I don't have to
Yep.
go anywhere else. And that's really where I find it to be very handy. But
Yeah.
all right, that's it for us today, folks. Thanks for joining. If you have any questions or you want to talk to Reid or I, Brittany and our marketing team will put up our email address, which is just info@tealtech.com. Uh, we'll be down in Orlando next week at IT Nation, but back running it live in December. Have a great week. Thanks, Reid, for sharing your ideas with us.
Thanks a lot. See ya.